Alright guys, such Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day. So far, the internet drama with these online qualifiers continues. Just a few days ago, we were talking about Toronto Ultras forfeiting their series against the Boston Breach, and FaZe were talking about this exit lag drama which has now started to create some serious controversy. The OpTic guys have talked about it as well, suggesting they might be one of the only teams in the league not to be using this. Did that have a part to play in the series result that we saw last night? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. You know, feel bad for Gwinn, but he does cook online, we can't deny it. Just quickly, some reaction to yesterday's banger series, Game 5, Round 11 again. You know, this is the Minnesota Rocker that we know and love. They used to do this back in the day. You would just know it was going Game 5. And, well, it's happened for 3 series in a row now, and all of them have been all the way down to the wire. Slasher says that he was feeling kind of unwell, head's been pounding all day, was getting Kentucky fried, but they still got the job done. I'm sure Viv was pretty happy about it. TJ as well, like, they were pretty federal on the desk. Like, it's the type of question that I would ask, so I've got no issue with it. But, you know, they were asking Tej. There were rumours about the roster change, obviously, right? They were looking potentially to bring in Kenny instead of Vivid. That never happened, and Tej was like, look, we're all okay over it, it's all fine. And if you look at the CDL standings, it's all fine. But maybe that doesn't paint the full picture. Kenny says, though, the grey hairs are starting to flow in, because I'm sure that was a stressful series and a stressful few series, and they lost. And that could be critical for the World Championship, right? Because as Kenny says, so close to finishing these series off early, feeling great with the squad nonetheless. And look, sure, it's not the end of the world, exactly. But if you have a look at the standings right now, it's shaping up to be increasingly interesting. So Ravens, after their win, they're at 210. I mean, they're right there with Surge and Toronto. That's kind of like the battle for the 3rd seed, really. It's probably going to be FaZe 1, Thieves 2. But of course, that could change. Like if Thieves go and win the last 2 events, of course, the story at the top can change. It's certainly not clear cut, especially because these teams should be competing for the big points when it comes to the majors. The top 5 is very clear, and then you have 6 through 12. I mean, really, you have 6 through 10. Like, the 11th and 12th are set in stone. It's 6 through 10, where 3 of those teams will qualify for champs, and 2 of those teams will not. OpTic, look, they're fine, right? They're at 130, but, I mean, they're only, you know, 10 points above 8th place, right, after the loss yesterday. I think they'll be fine, but still, some questions are being raised there, and understandably, because Miami, a team that usually, when Miami beat OpTic, it's like, oh, well, you know, the kind of underdog team won again. It's a classic series. For some reason, Heretics always have their number. It was the same when it was Florida Mutineers back in the day, part of the same franchise. But this year, that match, in many respects, is more important because there is a fight for seeding here happening towards the end of the year. But Rocker, with the defeat yesterday and Heretics' win, they're now 20 points behind. And, you know, you can turn over 20 points quickly with a good run at a major. But it will need a good run at a major. I think that's now the bottom line for Rocker, is that they're not going to be able to get by on just online qualifiers. They will need to go to one of the majors here, either this major or the next one, and deliver a seriously good run. That's probably what it's going to take to get them in. And Cloud9, you know, for all of the fact that they've looked quite strong this season, I mean, at least they've shown promise. They're still in 10th, and their record is now the same in terms of win-loss as Heretics is. But Heretics, of course, because they had the better run at the first major, they have far more points. So that's the way the CDL standings look. Increasingly interesting. Of course, Falcons are cooked. They're 0-20, but can they get a series win? It's possible. Well, I mean, it should happen, let's be real. Whether it happens tonight, that would be a real interesting one. So Exnid was actually talking to like a Saudi Arabian COD YouTuber, and he was, you know, talking a lot about his path to the league and everything. And I think there's so many people, including myself, are really rooting for Exnid to succeed because he seems like a great guy. Clearly got the talent, but also absolutely has the mentality. Like, he's a grinder. He wants to make it work. He's, you know, getting involved. He's doing everything that it takes, really, to become the best player that he can possibly be. And I think you can't help but support that, really. And even as Exnid says yesterday, Pro 8 now. And he's like, go to bed now. And Exnid's like, yes, sir. So, you know, of course, it's night before a game. So if Clay's like, look, brother, get some sleep in, Habibi. We've got a big series tomorrow against OpTic Texas, and that they most certainly do. They even put together a bit of a graphic for it, which I thought was kind of wild, really. I mean, it's AG, is it Luca, is it AG, what's going on? Anyway, they're looking forward to this series, of course, tonight, and maybe a good time for Falcons to try and capitalize on an OpTic team that was struggling yesterday. But is there more to this series than meets the eye? OpTic won the third map of the series. They lost the game for Hacienda in the way that they really probably should not have done. But there were some questions about, again, its online qualifiers. they hadn't lost a series online with Huke until this moment. So they were one of the stronger teams online theoretically, but yesterday's series was interesting for sure. Look, was ping a decisive factor in yesterday's series? Possibly, we don't know. I kind of doubt it, just watching the series, some of the misplays that OpTic made. But, you know, every series like this, there'll always be people saying, well, you know, that gunfight that this guy lost looks kind of wild. And I understand that, and it's online COD. There's always going to be some sort of discrepancy there in play. But the timing was very interesting last night. So OpTic Texas, they came out with, well, OpTic Audio Network, whatever they call the channel nowadays, they put out the game chat episode, which they did with the entire OpTic team. Of course, the timing was, let's say, suboptimal because they just lost a series against Heretic, so most of the comments were leaning that way. But they did say some interesting things, especially around this exit lag situation. So if you guys aren't familiar with the story from last weekend's, it was Toronto forfeiting a series against Boston because the ping differential, they were rubber banding basically badly. That's what they say. We've not seen any evidence of that, but that's what they say. The league then said, look, you just got to play through it. We've determined the server. And there was also talk about using this software called exit lag, which effectively minimizes the ping between your location and certain servers by improving the routing. So the OpTic guys were talking about that yesterday, and you know, this was only discussed from really the 6th of April, as you can see here, pretty much a week ago now, when it was first coming to light that some of the teams were using this. And Drazah says this is what happens when you use exit lag. Bean says, you know, you might be the chip with the book, etc., etc. So lots of the teams will say, look, don't use this stuff. It's not like against the rules, it seems. Like, it seems like the league is okay with them doing it because it's, you know, it shouldn't provide a performance advantage necessarily. It should just allow you to get the best possible connection to the server, but if on the ping that it should be. But like, if you're using it and the opponent isn't, then it creates, you know, a bit of a discrepancy potentially. So that was the feeling there from Drazah. And then you've got this from OpTic today that are saying, look, this exit lag thing, should we be using it? Because clearly OpTic aren't using it based on this clip, and I don't imagine that they sorted it out in the couple of days before the Miami series. So that was the discussion, because Shotzzy's like, hey, if every other team is using this and we are not, are we putting ourselves at a substantial disadvantage online? And maybe teams don't turn it on for the scrims. Maybe they decide, you know what, we're not going to use exit lag for our scrims because you're, you know, trying to train harder or whatever, and then you play in a real game and you put the game on easy mode. That might be the read.
aBeZy calls internet complaints excuses. Okay, hold on, yo. Everyone's talking shit. You got Abe, you got Dill.
I like that. Let the hate flow within you,
bro. If you have fiber, you should not be complaining about internet, dude. And I think a lot of
I know he wants to say more.
Just make excuses for internet.
He wants to talk so
and, you know, shit like that.
This is a filter to aBeZy.
Yeah,
and it's
very
just,
filtered.
It's actually hilarious to me. Like, I just see so many excuses slash like blaming internet. People just don't. They genuinely just use it as an excuse instead of trying to get better at the game.
I know he wants to say like,
me.
bro,
he
like,
wants to go crazy.
bro, I know what to say, dude. I literally three-peated on land. So what's happening? I know he wants to say that. That's in the back of his head. Like, I haven't lost the land. Like,
because this guy tweeted out like, just love playing or Nastie, just love loading up in Vancouver and screaming on cable every day. But he did. I'll give Nastie. He did say cable.
Cable.
He did bring up the cable. You guys were on cable?
I don't know the specifics. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
It's like apparently it's fiber, but apparently it's half cable. I don't know.
This is a crazy thing to say. I feel like if someone is that deep, I feel like it's on them, or much is that like fucked up.
It's not on the players.
It's definitely
exactly. It's definitely not. It's definitely not on the players. 100%. It's on the org. I guess.
I think it's more like I don't want to say it's on the org because like you should technically and you should be able to live anywhere in North America. I mean, technically it's just work for them. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't have like your like facility where you have all like your offices, like all your resources, and then you have to move everything just to like accommodate just for the league servers being shit. You know what I mean? It's just more. I feel like it's more on the league not actually having good servers, so anyone can play from it. Like because the more I think about it, like Vancouver should be able to play on a server that's like I don't fucking know, maybe Montana or something. That's maybe not realistic, but like somewhere that's like fair to play like certain teams or like there should be servers. I just feel like it's more the servers being shit. So since the servers are shit and you can only play very specific servers, you probably shouldn't live there.
I didn't even know that. Wow, I'm Brandon. Exit lag is a gaming-focused service that optimizes data routing for gamers by using a multipath connection in a worldwide server network, aiming to reduce lag and improve connection stability by finding the fastest, most stable routes between your device and game servers.
Wait, that's fire.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
It's like the routing of your internet. It's like more direct, I think.
Like it just makes it to where it's like the best routing to that server.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad though.
It's not it says it's not a VPN.
It's really not a VPN then. Yeah, it's like to help your ping, so you get more like a pretty good ping on the server that you're trying to connect to.
Isn't that what a VPN is though? Like,
have you guys ever opened up it?
VPN, you can just switch location.
You guys never opened it up?
I've never seen it.
You know so whenever you open it up, it basically has your internet, and then it connects, and then it has a list of servers that you can connect to. So there will be like US Chicago 1, and then there will be like 4 Chicago, so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have all of them to choose from, and then you just like click a button, and then it's like boom, your ping changes automatically. You could change it mid-game. You could be mid-map, and it'll change your ping.
I think that's why people were complaining, is because they were doing that.
Switching it during the like, warm-up thing?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. So how many teams are on that shit? Are we the only team not on it?
We might be. No bullshit, might be. No bullshit. Like, I swear.
Oh, it is like a VPN.
I'm about to start forcing the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it says it's not a VPN, but it basically
is a VPN.
Isn't that what fucking Ernie and them are doing? Are they using Ernie?
So lots of talk there about internet with the aBeZy clip as well that was doing the rounds a couple of days ago. What do you guys think in the comment section below? Is it relevant to yesterday's series? Of course, Cloud9 were talking about it too and saying that OpTic, when they go against Heretics, he ain't do nothing but step back, of course. Pretty difficult. Like, I imagine they had this saved after when they played them last weekend, right? Cloud9 played them. I imagine this was like their tweet they had in the drafts, and of course they couldn't use it because they lost. So they thought, all right, let's just repurpose it to run it back again, which doesn't really hit the same. I mean, to be fair, it did some numbers, but like, it doesn't really hit when Cloud9 got smoked by them the other day. And I don't know, we'll see what happens to Cloud9 today, because they do indeed play this evening. So tweet your thoughts on all of that drama in the comments below. And as Hitch says, look, wish them nothing but the best. Pred, Kenny, the former OpTic players, but I think Pred will say some crazy stuff if they beat us. Now, this is an interesting quote for sure. Look, I'm sure Pred might have some words to say, but we'll see. Of course, he's got to beat them first, and that is an opportunity this evening. So 4 games tonight. We get Heretics playing again. They beat OpTic yesterday. Can they beat FaZe? I mean, they can. As I said yesterday, Heretics have the knack of, you know, they can, if they play their best stuff, catch any team off guard, I think, and beat them. Can they do it 2 days in a row against what I think are pretty good teams? You know, obviously FaZe and OpTic, well, FaZe are the reigning double back-to-back champions, and OpTic should be pretty good. They looked good last weekend, not so much this weekend so far. Interesting series. I think FaZe will find a way to get the job done. Then it's Falcons OpTic, and this, of course, on paper is the most exciting one of the day, and it comes at an inopportune time for OpTic maybe, or maybe an opportune time depending on your perspective. OpTic just lost, bit of a shaky Friday, maybe, you know, that'll motivate them to bounce back today. Falcons, should they beat OpTic? No. I mean, but to be fair, even with the previous Falcons team with all the Saudi guys, they didn't get blown out badly by OpTic both times they played them this season. Pred, of course, will certainly want to have a good series this evening, but I think OpTic are just fundamentally the better team. I'm not convinced by the RC's Priester thing, and even Dashy and Skyz, they've been pretty underwhelming. They should be able to get the better of RC's Priester, and then the sub-duo, you know, should be enough. Is it going to be an interesting series? I think for sure. But I'll take OpTic in 4 maps, I think, but intrigue to your thoughts in the comments. Boston Gentlemates, this is like a really important series of Boston because Gentlemates are super cooked. They don't look absolutely horrifically terrible, like worst team you've ever seen in your life, but they're not good. They're not much better since the change. I think Boston will handle business here. They certainly need to get another 10 points on the board. And then it's Cloud9 Thieves. This is, well, it's a tough weekend for Cloud9. They play Thieves today. They play Rocker tomorrow. The Thieves win. I mean, look, if they can win, it's a huge 10 points. I don't think that they will. Tomorrow's game is absolutely integral to the way this rest of the season is going to line up. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.